lot to cover today.
Okay, so here's the deal. I fucked up.
I'm gonna try my best to explain this as quick as I can because frankly, I'm a certified yapper. I could talk about this for hours, but I just want to give you guys the gist of it. So, as of right now, we have 3 engines for the Protege. We have the one that we got for free, we have the one that I picked up from the junkyard because I wanted the cams out of it, and then we have the one that we just removed from the car, which you guys just saw me pulling apart. So here's the problem. Cam caps are not to be traded between engines. It's very unlikely that they're gonna fit properly, and if you want to get cam caps from a different engine and put them on a different cylinder head, you have to line hone the thing. And line honing is not cheap. I was talking with the machinist, I went and picked up the head that I had him do the work for, but that was the head that we got for free, and the cams and caps were all rusty, so I wasn't able to reuse those. And he was like, "You have the caps, right?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Oh, that's not good because you have to have the caps." So what we did was I took the caps off of that engine thinking like maybe they would work, because he said there's a chance that like if they were manufactured close to one another they might work. So I took him those cam caps, he measured them, and unfortunately I'm SOL. The cam caps are not gonna work on the cylinder head that I had him machine. What that means is I have to pay him to machine another cylinder head, which the whole reason I had him do the other cylinder head was because I thought that I was being clever and I could be like, oh, I'm just gonna put this whole brand new engine together and then we'll just do a quick and dirty engine swap and it'll be easy and fun and everyone will be happy and there'll be rainbows and sunshine. And no, that is not how the car world works. Most of the time, if you're trying to be clever, you're just gonna shoot yourself in the foot. So what I should have done was just rebuild the one engine. That being said, I wasn't able to do that because I was daily driving the car, and just down the rabbit hole we go. So what you guys just saw, of course, I ripped that engine completely apart. So now I've torn apart 3 Protege engines. I took the cylinder head to him. Luckily, he only charges $250 for the valve job and the resurfacing and everything that needs to be done to that cylinder head to make it 100% perfect. It's cheaper for me to have him machine a new cylinder head than to go to Salem to line hone the same cylinder head with the caps. That would cost me, I don't know exactly how much it would cost, but it would be like probably more than double what he charges me for cylinder head work because they specialize in cylinder heads. And I had another machinist quote me like resurfacing and doing the valve job on it, and he wanted like $700. And I was like, dude, you're cracked. Like I don't have $700 to pay that. So unfortunately, I made a $250 mistake. It could have been a lot worse. Like frankly, this is probably best case scenario considering my stupidity, but it sucks. Granted, we did get this engine block and that other engine head for free. So you win some, you lose some. I could be in this car a lot more than I already am. And I'm thankful that my machinist was just like, yep, bring me the cylinder head. I'll do it. Like, no questions asked, basically. So we have to wait 1 more week to get our cylinder head back finally. But when we get it back, everything will be good. And it'll be nice because I'm actually gonna reuse the cams that came out of this one because the cams were in pretty good condition. So we're gonna have cams, caps, the head, all the buckets and shims are gonna be perfect, but it's a bummer. And sometimes this shit happens, you know, that's life.
But do not fear, because there is not a shortage of work for us to do. In fact, it's kind of nice that that is ripped apart now because I can start mixing and matching all the components that need to go over here. And we're gonna start with the oil return system and the oil pan because the differences between the naturally aspirated engine and the turbo engine are gonna start becoming more apparent right now.
So if you haven't been paying attention this far, what you're looking at right here is the bottom of the engine with the main bearings exposed. So on the Mazda Protege engines, they have what's called a main bearing support plate, which is just like a cradle thing that just gives them a nice little hug. It's like boxer briefs for an engine. So this is a main bearing support plate. It sits on here like this. We're gonna put some like gasket maker stuff on there, but you get the idea. Now, there's a little port on the side of this main bearing support plate. So what you guys are looking at here is the main bearing support plate from a Mazdaspeed Protege. This is like the first major difference that we're gonna discuss along this series. The turbo car has a little inlet port for the oil return line, and the naturally aspirated car obviously has no need for that. I was fortunate that I found somebody in some Facebook group selling this thing, and I bought it from them, and then upon arrival, I realized like, you know, I probably could have just drilled a hole and fucking, like, I paid a pretty penny for this thing too. Of course, I'm turning into a JDM boy, and I just think that I need to have all these like rare parts for my cool, like turbo swapped hatch, but it still has all the OEM blah 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 blah. So last we have the main bearing support plate, where I really just didn't need to because I have the skills to not do that. In any case, I'm gonna go ahead and get this mounted onto the bottom of the engine block here. We're gonna put some RTV in there and then put the bolts in, and then we'll move on from there. I don't know what's next. We'll figure it out. I don't even have words to explain what just happened to me. So I was putting the main bearing support plate on, and I noticed that the bolts weren't threading in, and I was like, that's weird. So I took the cover back off, and the bearing cap that didn't have any holes in it, I was like, is that just like not the right one? And then I looked at the underside of the support plate, and sure enough, there's like one slot where there are no bolts. And that has to be the cap. That cap has to go under that. So then I just went down a Google rabbit hole, and it turns out that the order that the caps were given to me in, because like I thought all the caps were in the right place, so I rebuilt the whole bottom end assuming that those were in the right place. Turns out they weren't. So I just spent the last like 3 hours disconnecting the connecting rods and taking the crankshaft back out, and I cleaned everything out, and then I checked the oil clearances with the caps in the right location. All the oil clearances were good, so I put it all back together. But yeah, I didn't make very much progress on the main bearing support plate. And then of course, like in the time that took, all the RTV is dry now, so I just wasted a bunch of RTV. So tomorrow, I'm gonna get a razor blade and scrape the RTV off and try it again. I mean, I'm glad I saw that. Luckily, the support plate told me that something was wrong, because I wouldn't have known. And one of the caps has a 4 on it, and sure enough, the fourth cap is the one that has the thrust washers, which is a little bit weird because usually it's in the middle, but for whatever reason, then this card's on the fourth one. But and that one is slightly wider, so like thank God I caught it, because the thrust washers could have gotten, who knows, something horrible could have happened. So I fixed the bottom end. I didn't even record anything because I was just like, I had to lock it. I was just so stressed. Anyway, I'll pick up the camera when I'm continuing on with this. Okay, so it's been a couple days. I gave myself time to just really think about what the heck my next step was. So I spent this morning scraping all the RTV off, and when I was doing that, I realized that I was doing things in the wrong order. So the main bearing support plate should go on last, because the rear main seal and the oil pan need to go on before that. Even though I'm frustrated by the whole main bearing issue that I ran into, the crank still spins just fine. We have oil clearance on them. Luckily, they're not breakaway main bearing caps. They're just machine caps, so like, it's okay. As stressful as it is, it's fine. I've decided to let Daniel come and work on his bike project over here. He's turning this, wait, where'd you say you got this?
You got what?
This bike.
Oh, I found this in a dumpster when I was throwing my trash out.
Yeah, so he's resurrecting an abomination. And here's the deal. I also have a soft spot for abominations that should just be allowed to die peacefully. Yeah. But we're not going to let that happen, because we want to have cool turbskis in our life. Anyway, if you guys see Daniel in the background, that's what he's up to. We're using the hoist to hold the engine up.
A whole 20 pounds on here.
Well, it's not so much the weight, but like,
I just need a third arm and a fourth leg.
Yeah, but see, if I was holding the engine for you, then who would hold the camera?
Your other arm? Well, I guess, yeah, that's true.
I guess we do have a tripod. That's less entertaining.
Yeah.
Okay, so it feels really good to have this done properly, finally. So right now, I just have all the main bolts that are in the middle. These are the ones that hold the support plate down. And then I've just taken a few of the oil pan bolts. I put those in there just to make sure that the RTVs squeeze out from the sides. Of course, we're gonna remove these and put the oil pan on afterwards. I just wanna let this sit for a little bit because the oil pan is gonna come a little bit later. The other thing is I don't have one of those fancy tools that taps your rear main seal into place. So what I'm thinking about doing is just taking some measurements and then 3D printing one. That's gonna get us close enough. So tonight I'm going to go and design and 3D print our seal tapping tool. And then tomorrow we'll pick up right where we left off. We'll get the oil pan, the water pump, a few other things, but I don't want to pick this back up and put it on the engine stand until I get that seal in there because of course the stand covers it. So, oh, and I need to put this freeze plug in. Don't let me forget. Anyway, that is that, and I will see you guys very soon. Alright, so here's the final design of my rear main seal tapping tool. So what I did was I took the rear main seal, just measured the diameter and then the thickness of the ledge right here. You want to make sure you're not tapping on the flimsy rubber part. You can kind of see it sits up slightly higher. But as you can see, the rear main seal sits perfectly on here. The outer diameter is slightly smaller than the overall seal, and that's to make sure that the tool can fit in the hole where the seal goes. So the seal is a slight press fit, so there's gonna be a little bit of work to get it around the crankshaft. I'm gonna go ahead and test it out. Hopefully this works. So I don't have Daniel here today, and I don't really want to risk trying to get the engine back on the engine stand. So I'm just gonna leave that there for now. In the meantime, I want to work on the intake manifold a little bit. So I have 3 of them now, and so I'm gonna use that one over there as my reference. And then this is the one that I'm gonna be cleaning up and trying to refurbish, I guess. Because once I got the engine block back and seeing how clean it was, I was like, well, it doesn't have to be show car quality, but I want it to be damn good. That's kind of the aesthetic we're going for with the Protege, is I want the exterior to be kind of disgusting and unsuspecting, but then like you pop the hood and everything's nice and clean and shiny. Alright, so we didn't make as much progress on this in this video as I would have liked to, but we're kind of at a standstill. Behind the scenes, I've been sandblasting a lot of components and just getting them ready. So in the next video, once we get the cylinder head back from the machine shop, then we'll be able to start putting all these like fancy things. You guys will see. It's gonna be great. For the rest of this video, I have a little bit of homework to do, but a good friend of mine named Ravine, he's gonna like show me his motorcycle that he's been working on because he ordered like 50 parts for the thing.
I have.
But I just have to do homework, so I'm gonna sit in his garage with my laptop and bug him. What are you gonna install on it? Little flame decal?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's called. Air freshener.
An air freshener?
Yeah.
On the motorcycle?
Yeah, totally.
Bruh. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked to see it. I went and saw his motorcycle like right when he got it, but he's been doing like all these little mods, so I'm gonna ride over there with him.
All right, so here it is. I don't know anything about motorcycles,
It's
so
a
you have to talk.
2023 Husqvarna 401 Vitpillen.
Okay, so the motorcycle boys will have to. You guys know what you're looking at, I'm sure.
It seems too small.
What is that?
It's the carbon fiber chain guard. Is it? Oh wait, no. It's what? Hold up. No, it works. Oh, look at it, dude.
This is Ravine's little brother's Forester. I quite like it. It's got the RPF ones on there. Very nice.
All of you watching, do not ever buy a Forester, a Subaru of any kind. It's a piece of shit. And it'll take all your money and it will still not run. Where do you get your music from?
Epidemic Sound, actually. Said I was supposed to be doing homework, but I also want to get the video done too. Yeah, you just you let me know when you get that off, and then we'll
Alright, sounds
do
good.
like a little comparison.
Let me actually charge this up real quick. If you can
Charge
just,
what up?
my little work light, because I should have listened to you when placing my
Yeah, I told you.
I know.
Put the light. Wait, why don't you turn this one on?
Sorry?
Turn on the white one. Turn it
That'll
on.
help, but
Turn it on. Oh, that's so much better.
it's a little bit better.
I just love it. I love bright white lights. I'm an alien, bro.
I think you are an alien.
I forgot to bring my little tripod thing.
Your what?
My Gorilla Pod. The thing that lets me put the camera
Oh shit.
anywhere. It's okay. You have this nice little shelf here.
It's funny because I actually used to have one.
You have a little label maker?
Yeah.
Okay,
Dude,
I'm gonna-
I use that shit so often.
How much did that run you? They're not cheap.
Not much. It was like $25, I think.
Damn.
No, it was very inexpensive. Oh my god, why do they put shit like this on here? Okay, it's fine.
I just want to graduate already. I don't want to do homework anymore. This sucks. You get to have all the fun. Wait, why aren't you doing homework?
Because I finished it this morning. Well, not finished it, but finished today's dose this morning.
Today's dose.
Yeah. I'm actually
Yeah.
kind of screwing myself over because I will have a lot tomorrow.
Yeah, well, that's why I was like, the only way I can hang out is if I sit there with my laptop and not actually hang out.
Yeah.
'Cause I have to.
That's fine.
So, Ravine's never been in a video, but I've known this guy for like 5 years, and we've actually talked about him having a cameo at some point, but it never really happened. Like, the video content is always just in my garage, focusing on whatever the heck I'm doing, and I never take the camera elsewhere. But there's very few people that I feel comfortable just like introducing on the channel. And for whatever reason, like Ravine, I should have introduced him to you guys a long time ago. But well, when we first met, it was like right before COVID, and I was vlogging quite a bit because I didn't really have cars to work on at the time. I was just kind of like doing whatever. And then COVID happened, and then I moved home, and then that's when I just started working on the Mustang a lot. And ever since then, the vlogs have just been about working on cars and not really doing much else.
It's true.
But I've known Ravine the whole time.
I'm sorry, viewers. I'm just trying to... Everyone in the comments going to be like, this man's going to kill himself.
I'm starting to get more comfortable with like just kind of extending the vlogs a little bit, because if you guys didn't want to watch, you probably would have clicked off by now. So I want to start introducing more of my friends. Unfortunately, we have this other friend who doesn't ever want to be on the internet. He'll never show his face, so I can't even like say his name.
This is true.
But we probably won't be able to get him to come around. But Ravine is comfortable being in the vlog, so
Well, you can tell me whatever you want me to do, and I'll probably do it.
hit the gritty.
I don't know how to do that.
What have you done? Hey,
I did it!
that actually looks pretty good.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
I can't see it in this lighting.
I know.
but-
I'll get some more lights and shines.
Okay, that's better. Does the weave match on these two different parts
I
though?
hope so.
Okay, that was a bit of an abrupt cut, but the camera battery died when I was at Ravine, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up here. I hope you guys are looking forward to more Protege content, because from now until I graduate, it's pretty much just gonna be the Protege. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous because I basically have like 5 weeks to get the thing like at least starting. Ideally it would run under its own power too, but we got to get this thing back together, and this delay with the cylinder head is pretty stressful because I was hoping to have that here. So I think that the timeline will work out, but if you thought what we were doing before with putting the engine together was crazy, like just wait until you guys see what we're doing this next weekend. It's gonna be something I've never done on the channel, not even close, and I'm excited but also really nervous. With that, I'm gonna leave you guys. I'm gonna go to bed. It's like midnight. I have class in like 8 hours, so hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel when you guys do that, and I'll see you very soon. Peace.